December 20th, 1968. Vallejo, California. 11:14 p.m. The road was dark. Cold wind blew through the trees. Two teenagers sat in a parked car, talking quietly. David Faraday, 17. Betty Lou Jensen, 16. High school sweethearts. They were on their first date. A quiet road. No other cars. Just silence. Then, a flash of headlights. Another car pulled up beside them. The engine stopped. The door opened. Footsteps on gravel. Betty Lou looked up. "Who is that?" David turned. "Stay here." He opened his door. Stood up. Bang. A gunshot rang out. David fell. Betty Lou screamed and ran. Bang. 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 She dropped just feet from the car. No one heard. No one saw. The killer vanished into the night. Just two teenagers. Dead. No reason. No answers. Until, 6 months later. July 4th, 1969. Blue Rock Springs Park. Vallejo. 22-year-old Darlene Farron and her friend, Michael Majo, were sitting in a car. Laughing. Talking. It was late. Quiet. Another car pulled in. Lights flashed. Michael frowned. Maybe it's a cop. But it wasn't. A man walked up. He wore dark clothes. Held a flashlight. He raised his hand. Pop, 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 pop. Bullets flew. Michael screamed. Darlene slumped. The man walked away, then came back. He fired again. Pop, pop, pop. Then, silence. Darlene died. Michael survived. He didn't see the man's face. Just shadows. Darkness. That night, a call came to the police. A calm voice. "I want to report a murder." "No, a double murder." He gave the location. Then said, "They were in a brown car. I also killed those kids last year." Then, click. He hung up. The voice was steady. No emotion. No fear. Just facts. The police were stunned. Was it real? Was it a prank? But the details were exact. He knew things only the killer could know. A few weeks later, the letters started. 3 newspapers. 3 letters. Each one began the same way. "Dear editor, I am the killer of the 2 teenagers last Christmas." The letters were filled with strange symbols. Ciphers. He wrote, "If you crack this code, you will have my name." He signed it with a strange symbol, a circle with a cross through it. The Zodiac. That's what he called himself. The world was never the same. He taunted the police. The media. The public. More letters came. Each more chilling than the last. "I like killing people because it is so much fun." He described the attacks. The weapons. The fear in his victims' eyes. He knew the details. Too many to be fake. One cipher was cracked by a schoolteacher and his wife. The message read, "I like killing people because it's so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all." The Zodiac had a plan. He wanted fear. Fame. Chaos. He wanted to be a legend. He was just getting started. July 4th, 1969. Vallejo, California. Just before midnight. A car sat parked in a quiet lover's lane. Inside, 2 teenagers. Laughing. holding hands. Fireworks still echoed in the distance. Then, headlights. A shadow. A man stepped out. Slowly. Calmly. He aimed a flashlight and a gun. 4 gunshots. Silence. Then 2 more. Darlene Ferrin lay motionless. Her friend, Michael Mageau, was barely alive. He tried to scream. He couldn't. Blood choked his throat. The night smelled like smoke. The ground was cold. The stars didn't blink. Police came fast. But the killer was gone. Just a phone call later, a man confessed. No name. Just calm words. And a warning. I also killed those 2 last year. Who was he? Why did he call? Why was he so calm? Experts weighed in. They said he was smart. Very smart. He knew how to cover tracks. How to leave false clues. He wanted power. He wanted control. Every time he wrote, he won. The public grew tired and terrified. For years, California lived in fear. People carried pepper spray. Some bought guns. Others moved away. But Zodiac stayed. Some believe he was there. Sitting in the diner. Shopping at the grocery store. Right next to them. Just watching. A sketch. A hope. Police had a drawing. A sketch from a witness. A man with glasses. Short hair. Heavy set. That image was everywhere. In papers. On TV. Taped to grocery store windows. But no one came forward. No one said, I know him. October 1969. A TV station hosted a live show. A lawyer said Zodiac should call in. So he could talk, live. They waited. Then, the phone rang. The man on the line said, I am the Zodiac. He sounded calm. Cold. Real. But police later said, it was just a mental patient. Not the real killer. Still, millions watched. Heard that voice. Felt their hearts race. More suspects, no arrest. Years passed. More names came up. But no one was ever arrested. No one charged. No trial. No justice. People began to ask, will we ever catch him? Across America. Time moved on. The world changed. But the Zodiac story never faded. Detectives grew old. Some passed away. But they took the case with them. New detectives came. Younger. Eager. But one question remained. Who was the Zodiac? Cold case, but never closed. The case was never solved. It never closed. Not even for a moment. Boxes filled with photos. Tapes. Old notes. Each marked Zodiac. And inside? Terror. Pain. Truth. Years later, a breakthrough. Technology got better. So did hope. Forensic scientists took the Zodiac's letters. They tested the stamps. The envelopes. The flaps. Looking for saliva. Looking for his DNA. They sent it to labs. Cross-checked it with criminals. Thousands of names. One match could end it all. But there was nothing. The DNA didn't match anyone. One last name, Gary Post. In 2021, a group of investigators, called the Case Breakers, said they had him. They named Gary Francis Post. A painter. A military man. He lived in California. He had scars like the sketch. He had friends who said. He told us. He was the Zodiac. One even said. He trained us to kill, like it was a game. Gary Post died in 2018. Police never charged him. And so, the mystery stayed. Why was Zodiac never caught? Some say he was too smart. Others say the police made mistakes. Bad communication. Lost evidence. Wrong suspects. Some say he was just lucky. Or maybe he worked with someone. Someone inside the system. Helping him stay free. No one knows. Fall, 1969. San Francisco, California. The city slept. But evil did not. The Zodiac had gone quiet for weeks. No killing. No noise. No trace. People started to breathe again. Some even thought he was dead. But they were wrong. He was only getting started. Open mailbox with raised flag, then came the letters. The first one arrived at the San Francisco Chronicle. The envelope was neat. Typed. No fingerprints. Inside? A letter. And a cipher. A strange box of symbols, numbers, and shapes. He wrote. This is the Zodiac speaking. I like killing people because it is so much fun. Reporters froze. Editors stared. Cops rushed to the newsroom. The Zodiac had returned. And he wanted everyone to know. Puzzle piece the code that broke people's minds. That cipher? It was like a puzzle. But a dark one. He said if people cracked it, they would know his name. His truth. His reason. It was signed. With my symbol, that creepy cross with a circle. People panicked. They stayed home. Locked doors. Kept lights on all night. Some took their kids out of school. They were too scared. But others tried to solve the cipher. Armchair detectives. Teachers. Even kids. And then, a married couple solved it. Donald and Betty Hardin. High school teachers from Salinas. They stared at it for days. Then, a pattern. Then, a message. Man detective, the chilling message said. I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest. Because man is the most dangerous animal of all. That one sentence chilled the world. It showed something deeper. Something darker. This wasn't just a killer. This was someone who enjoyed it. Who saw it as a game. A thrill. Fearful face, he said he'd strike again. He promised more killings. More letters. More pain. And he mocked the police. They will never catch me. He called them pigs. He laughed at them in every letter. Each one ended with the same line. Me, 37. SFPD, 0. He was keeping score. The Zodiac didn't hide in the shadows. He wanted the spotlight. He demanded his letters be printed. Front page. Or else, he said, people would die. And so the papers obeyed. They had no choice. Every family in California now feared one thing. The Zodiac Killer. Direct hit, he changed the game. Before Zodiac, killers tried to hide. They didn't talk. They didn't tease. But Zodiac? He was loud. He was proud. He taunted the world. And he always stayed one step ahead. Police were desperate. They had no real name. No real face. Just a list of crimes, and fear. They tried everything. Handwriting experts. Code breakers. Psychiatrists. Still nothing. Performing arts. Then came the Halloween card. October 27, 1970. Another envelope. To a reporter named Paul Avery. This time, it had a cartoon skeleton. A smiling pumpkin. And inside, a creepy message. Peekaboo. You are doomed. The city held its breath. Was he joking? Or was someone next? Paul Avery felt the chill. He was the first reporter to write deeply about the case. Now Zodiac was watching him. Maybe following him. Maybe planning something. The Chronicle gave Avery a bodyguard. He wore a gun to work. He looked over his shoulder every second. The Zodiac had crossed another line. Now he was stalking the people trying to stop him. The fear was everywhere. Parents slept by their kids' doors. Teenagers stopped going on dates. People whispered Zodiac's name like a ghost story. And in every mailbox, every morning, San Francisco waited for a new letter. Another message from a killer who refused to stop. Snow fell on rooftops. Children made snowmen. Shops played holiday music. But in the police stations, there was no peace. Detectives stayed late. Cigarettes burned down to the filter. Coffee went cold. They were chasing a ghost. Detective A face in the shadows. Police believed Zodiac was a man. Smart. Cold. Bold. But they had no name. No photo. No fingerprint. Just his words. His codes. His evil. They wondered. Was he someone's father? A neighbor? A teacher? Had they already spoken to him? They made a list. It grew every week. Strange men. Violent men. Loners. Writers. Creeps. One name kept rising. Arthur Lee Allen. Person standing. Arthur Lee Allen, the prime suspect. He lived in Vallejo. Not far from 2 Zodiac attacks. He was a teacher. But had been fired. For hurting kids. He wore a Zodiac-style watch. It had the same symbol, the circle and cross. He talked about killing people. He liked codes. He had a dark sense of humor. And one day, he told a friend, "I could be the Zodiac. Wouldn't that be funny?" But the police didn't laugh. Police car light. They raided his home. They found knives. Guns. Blood-stained clothes. Tapes. They took his typewriter. His boots. His letters. They even checked his handwriting. But then, heartbreak. The results came back. It didn't match. Crossmark. No match. No arrest. The prints didn't match either. Neither did the blood. The cipher codes? He didn't seem to write those. Once again, the Zodiac slipped away. Tired-faced detectives were breaking down. They missed holidays. Birthdays. Sleep. They watched their suspects. They followed leads. But the killer kept laughing. Kept writing. Kept breathing. The families were still waiting. The Farron family. The Shepard family. The Jensen family. They had no answers. No justice. No peace. Some parents kept the porch light on. Just in case. Some cried every day. Looking out the window. Hoping to see their daughter's face again. Letters didn't stop. He kept writing. Even when no one replied. He sent more puzzles. More symbols. More death threats. In 1974, one letter said, "Me, 37. SFPD, 0. He claimed 37 kills. But police only knew of 5. Was he lying? Or were there more bodies they never found? The victims are still waiting. David Faraday, Betty Lou Jensen, Darlene Ferrin, Michael Mageau, Brian Hartnell, Cecilia Shepard, Paul Stein. Some survived. Most didn't. Their families still hurt. Still remember. Every birthday. Every holiday. Every quiet night. They ask. Why her? Why him? Why us? The letters stopped. But never died. Zodiac stopped writing. At least, publicly. But even now, some people claim. They still get strange notes. Odd calls. Silent breathing on the line. Some say it's a hoax. But others believe. He never stopped watching. Television movies. Books. Fear. Zodiac became legend. There were movies. Books. Songs. People made jokes. Dressed like him on Halloween. But this wasn't a joke. Not for the families. Not for the victims. This was real. And it still is. It's been over 50 years. 5 confirmed kills. Dozens more claimed. Thousands of clues. No name. What does that say about our world? What does it say about us? This isn't fiction. This happened. And the monster who did it was never caught. He walked in the same streets. Sat in the same diners. Watched the news. Laughed at the fear he caused. Somewhere in California. There's a small grave. A woman kneels beside it. She places flowers. She whispers, "I still miss you." Her hands shake. Her eyes are tired. She stands. Behind her, a shadow moves. A man in a gray coat. He watches. And disappears. Have you heard this story before? What do you think truly happened that night? Did the Zodiac die? Or, is he still out there? If you're drawn to real stories that stay with you, subscribe now to Unbelievable True Story. Because every week, we reveal the darkest truths hidden in plain sight. Watch the next video on your screen, or dive into our playlist of chilling true crime. The next story might be even more shocking. Or even closer to home.